Hello and welcome to my channel where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. We are going to do a listening to shells reading for the sign of Leo. What I'd like you to do is take a look at the videos that I have posted below. Pick the one that resonates with you the most deeply, and after you make your selection, click on the timestamp to go to that video. I'll see you soon. All right, Leo, for seashell number one, it looks like your message is directed towards an individual. This could be you or somebody connected to you who was previously trying to move into a direction that would lead them to smoother waters. However, what I see is that they may have found themselves fleeing back into a situation that's going to put them back into some rocky waters or some rough waters, rather. Maybe there's rocks at the bottom that can hit that boat and sink it. And I feel like intuitively you know that this is the case, but for some reason you're choosing to kind of ignore what your gut is telling you about this situation. I feel like it could be because you put some time into it and you have a lot of emotional energy that you've invested into it. I'm seeing it could be 6 months, 6 years that you've put into this. And because of that, it's very difficult for you to get out of a situation that you know is choppy, it's rough, it's emotionally taxing, but you're not able to leave it because you're just choosing. I mean, I think the truth is that, this is weird, but I'm seeing like the truth is for some of you, you need this emotional disruption in your life to make you feel like you have some sense of truth in the world. Sometimes when we go through traumatic situations or toxic situations, we're not comfortable unless we are in a toxic situation. When things are okay and things are smooth, we just don't know what to do with that. And I'm just picking up strongly that that may be what's going on here. All right. Like I said, for some of you, you may have put 6 years into this and you got so used to that toxicity that you just really kind of don't know what to do. You didn't know what to do when you started moving into smoother waters. I feel like there could be children involved. This could have been someone that was living with children. And because of that, it's causing you to not listen to that still small voice that's in your ear telling you that this is the same old song and dance. I'm just going to keep on doing the same thing over and over again. I feel like you've already learned a lot from it. I feel like you have a lot of pearls of wisdom that you've gained from it. But you're choosing to go back into a situation that is not really the best for you. And this is a serious warning, but for some of you, I feel like this situation has the danger of like just snuffing out your light. Like the bit of you that had hope of coming into a brighter day or a brighter space where you could really shine, you could really allow yourself to kind of unfold in an environment and in a space that's going to be, it's going to respect who you are and allow you to reflect who you are. I feel like you had that chance to do it, and by not moving forward, you're moving into a space where you may not be able to do that. That this is going to be that last little bit that puts you all the way out. And I don't mean literally put you out, but like you're like the light, that part of your personality, that part of that who you are, what makes you who you are, that part of you that came into this world to be a certain way. That's what's kind of being played with here a little bit. I feel like the reason that this is happening and that you're feeling this way is because it's hard to believe that there's a plan in place. I feel like you might be in a very dry place. You might be feeling like you don't have a lot of options to do anything but to go back to where you were. So even though you are moving into smoother waters, it may have looked like you were moving into desert. I feel like there was a way through it, but you were so intimidated by the vastness of this desert land that you were about to have to walk through. And I'm thinking of the story of Moses, walking in the desert for 40 days. Or actually, no, it's 40 years. I think it was the story of Jesus where he was in the desert for 40 days. And so I'm picking up 40. There's something about 40 that might be important to somebody. You could be in your 40s. You could be 40 and you could be saying, oh my gosh, I'm not 34 or in my mid 30s. I don't want to be in a situation having to start all over. I don't know where I'm going. I can't see what's coming to me. So therefore, I'm going to go back into a rough situation where it's emotionally taxing. My emotions are up and down because at least I know the devil I'm dealing with. The devil you don't know that you feel like you might meet in the desert, because in mythology, you meet the devil in the desert. You'd rather deal with the one you know than the one you don't know. But I feel like it's important for you to know that if you can just balance yourself, allow yourself to get grounded, spend some time in nature, it will allow you to recognize the natural order of things and that abundance is there for you. People talk about like the birds and the trees and the different things. Like they don't worry about if they're going to have enough for tomorrow. They have what they need. Now, unless you're in a drought situation, you're in these situations where things are getting wiped out. Like, yeah, that's a troubling time, and you might actually feel like that. But because this is showing up here, I feel like it's saying that if you would allow yourself to be in calmer waters, it will allow the perfection of your life to unfold. It will naturally unfold. If you give your flame, I'm hearing also the story of like the oil in your lamp. If you allow your lamp to stay lit, if you tend to the oil a little bit and allow that flame to live, you'll be very surprised at how things unfold for you. And you'll find yourself in a very abundant place that's, it's beautiful and it's what you really want, but what you're afraid that you're not going to get. You're not getting it where you were before. And so this step that you're needing to take requires you to kind of step out on faith in yourself, faith in that flame that you have inside of you that's trying to express itself, that's trying to just be, so that it can have a chance to live fully and to its fullest. So your card that you have for the Sacred Rebels is the perfection of your life. It says, I give thanks for the higher order of my life, which I trust implicitly as it guides me into wholeness and love. From that which appears as chaos, new order is rising. I trust this and receive the gift of higher order in my life. Now, through grace and mercy, so be it. And your Peace Oracle card is abundance. All right. I feel like this is what you're trying to move into and what you will get to if you just follow that light inside. If you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. Because there's a million things to be. You know that there are. Cat Stevens. In peace, fields are prepared and brought to harvest. In peace, rainbows are chased and potential is realized. Conflict brings famine and hunger. In anguish, dreams are flightless and wings are clipped. Invest in peace and abundance will follow. Tend the seeds of gold in your heart and reap a prosperous harvest. Support through a challenge. Act decisively for the future. Turn your heart, head, and hands away from an immediate worry and towards a brighter future. Stand up to and against abuse. The universe is limitless. There is more than enough. The earth is forever. There is more than enough. My heart is endless. There is more than enough. My mind is boundless. There is more than enough. Ideas, solutions, opportunities, creativity, love, kindness, compassion, and peace abound. All right, that's what I have for seashell number 1. If this is your last video, I may hopefully see you in the future. If not, I will see you on the next video. Seashell number 2 for the sign of Leo. So it looks like right now you are in a space of being very grateful for some work that you put in. I feel like it could be for a career. You may have gotten word that you have attained a career or an opportunity to take on a new role in a career that you may have been trying to get. I feel like you may have put, maybe 8 months. Maybe you spent the past 8 months trying to get this. Maybe you put 8 years into it, but you're just feeling very grateful for everything that you have. Particularly if you had to overcome some challenges. For example, you may have had some very aggressive people, some aggressive coworkers, maybe some almost tyrannical managers or bosses that you were working for. And I feel like it may have been a situation where it just was very toxic for you. And it's looking like you are a person who decided to kind of step away from an environment that was very toxic to you. Maybe if you have a family, they weren't very family friendly or understanding of the fact that you had a family and you needed time to spend with them. And so you had to make a tough call to decide that you were going to follow your own internal guidance and listen to what spirit was telling you about what you could do in order to best be in your own power. And you took the action and a leap of faith to try to find work elsewhere because this wasn't working. It wasn't cutting it for you. All right. It looks like you made a decision that you were no longer going to put energy. You weren't going to put energy into things that were just not going to serve your soul, or that we're not going to feed your soul in a positive way. You're going to be conscientious about working for people who, you feel were ethical. So maybe there were some things that they did that just didn't match up with your personal values or ethics, either in the corporate environment or maybe it's products that they make. And you just decided that it just wasn't a good fit for you. And because you decided to look deeper than the superficial of whether or not you were going to get a paycheck and how much you were going to get paid and so on, you were able to look so deep that you found the treasure within yourself, which was the knowledge of what was going to align best for you. And because you did that, it actually worked out to where you found a position, or you are finding a position that is going to be everything that you need it to be. They're going to respect your family, the need to be able to balance your work and family time. I feel like your pay is going to be a significant increase from what it was that you had before. I feel like you're not going to be working with coworkers that have, toxic personality and management styles. I feel like we're shifting. There's kind of been a shift in the workplace from where we were kind of enamored with and kind of placed, narcissistic, abusive personalities on a pedestal and looked at them as being good leaders. We looked at that as meaning that you had really good management skills if you knew how to manipulate and play people against each other and play this game to where people have to walk on eggshells so that you can keep a grip of power on people, that meant that you were a good manager. And we're kind of moving into a space where people want to be in spaces where not only do they feel like they can trust their management to understand that they are human beings and that they have very real lives that go beyond just being, a cog in the machine and trying to keep this well-oiled thing running, but valuing these people so that not only can they trust you, but they're able to trust themselves to be themselves. And therefore they give the best of themselves when they go into these types of workplaces. I know some of the better companies to work for are the places that really value their workers, and they show it to them by providing them with things and amenities and things that just make them feel like people. And there's a split in the consciousness of people about whether or not you should do that, or whether people are being pampered, they're expecting too much, or is it that you're just valuing people? Either way, it's coming across like you found yourself this space by honoring yourself and honoring the value within yourself, and only allowing people who will value you to come into your circle. And so because of that, you're being rewarded with a healthy, non-toxic, conscientious place of employment. All right. Again, I feel like you really, really took a leap by trusting in yourself. There may have been people around you that were kind of shocked that you were trying to do something so different because you weren't going along with the status quo. And it took you deep, like reaching deep within to something primal within you to really come to the realization that that's what it was going to take for you to get the peace that you needed, for you to get the chance to move forward that you were not getting before. Okay, so let's take a look at your Sacred Rebels card, and that was Trust Yourself. So let's see what the message says for you. Close your eyes and relax for a moment. Breathe in and out. Let your awareness drift away from worries and day-to-day matters and settle instead on the feeling of warmth inside your body. Then slowly imagine, sense, feel, or perceive that you have an acorn in your hand. Then slowly imagine, sense, feel, or perceive that you have an acorn in your hand. You are standing in nature as sunrise breaks, flooding the horizon with color and light. As you hold the acorn up to the light of the rising sun, something magical happens. Out of the acorn, a hologram shines forth. It is a blueprint of this entire being that is yet to be. You see an acorn in that hologram, but you also see a marvelous oak tree. You see the wildlife that will support and be supported by that tree, the ecosystem of which it is a part. You see yourself holding the acorn up to the rising sun. You see seasons demarcated as rings of time within the trunk of the tree. You see the passing lives of many people that enjoy the oak tree through its long life. Place the acorn down on the ground as the sun continues to rise. Imagine, if you will, kneeling and touching your forehead lightly to the earth in reverence for the genius of growth. That same genius lives within you. In your own time, open your eyes and go about your day. You have completed your healing process. Realization is your peace oracle. We do not need magic to transform our world. We carry all of the power we need inside ourselves already. J.K. Rowling. Your successes and failures are not who you are. They are fleeting accomplishments. You are brighter than your greatest achievement and deeper than your most dire catastrophe. The spark that brought you into being is within you still. Remember that noble perfection. Honor that beauty. Live that miracle. Recognize a limitation or see your part in a drama for what it is. Without shame, guilt, or blame, what would you do? New information requires a fresh course of action. My greatest dreams have already been realized. My deepest desires have been with me all along. I work on myself, my greatest masterpiece, to bring the miracle within to realization. I find freedom in forgiveness, liberation in compassion, and peace in love. All right, that's what I have for seashell number 2. If this is your last video, I may hopefully see you in the future. If not, then I will see you on the next video. All right, seashell number 3 for the sign of Leo. So looking at your cards, I feel like you or someone connected to you has been putting a lot of work and effort into trying to make something happen. You've been working really hard to pull all your resources together, and I feel like you may have had a vision board, you may have had, used journaling, maybe even life coaching and mentoring, just all kinds of things in order to manifest something. And it just really wasn't coming through the way that you wanted it to come through. And that right now you're in the space of just kind of taking a break from it. This could be that you are working really hard on a project, or you're working really hard to try to get something through. It could be some type of application or something that you're working on. And it just wasn't working out. So you're stepping back, you're stepping away from it and allowing yourself to just feel I'm hearing like fun and fancy free. This was like an old cartoon. It was a Disney cartoon. That might mean something to someone. Or if you haven't seen it, maybe go check it out. But I'm just seeing like you want to rest. You need a mental break because you put a lot of energy into this and it wasn't coming together the way you wanted it to. I'm picking up for some of you, this could have also been a relationship that you were working on. It could have been romantic. It could have been a work partnership also, where you were trying really, really hard to make it work and it just wasn't. So you're needing to take a break, like a break in the relationship, see other people, or just be by yourself for a little bit. If this is at work, it's needing to kind of step away from the project, maybe work on something else. Maybe it might be helpful to even kind of find a different group to work with to see if that works better. Because you keep hitting your head up against a wall and it's like, it's not working the way you want it to. It's not working out the way you need it to. All right. So, I also feel like you're at a point where if there was a lot of tension involved in this that was causing some of the problems, that you're trying to heal, see if you're able to work together to bring it back together, or if it's just time to let it go and just move on to something different. Because with this Magician in reverse here, I just get this image of someone who's working really, really hard, but everything that they do just kind of like goes downhill, or it just comes crumbling down, or it just doesn't work out. And so that person is just, taking a step back and saying, I'm not going to keep doing the same thing over and over again if it's not going to work. All right. I feel like the inspiration that you're being given here, or what you're being admonished to do, is don't stop dreaming this beautiful dream that you have. Just because it's not working in the current situation with the current resources, the current materials, the current people that are working with you, doesn't mean that it's not possible that it can work. It just means that you might have to make a different choice in order to find another way to make it happen. However, it's going to be really, really important that you take the time while you're on this break, or while you're stepping away from the project, or you're taking a literal vacation from your job, to kind of reflect upon the things that really, really align with you on a deep and personal level, so that from that space, you can figure out what it is that you need to do in order to make this happen. Because when you're trying to manifest things, if you're not really into it, or it's not your highest joy, or you're not really excited by it, you're going to kind of internally sabotage it at some level, because your higher self knows that it's not the best thing for you and that you don't really want it. And so you could put a lot of external work into it, and it can look like you are the one that's burning the midnight oil. You're staying up, 12 hours around the clock, working on this, staying at your office the latest, doing the most work on it, trying to make it happen. But if it's not something that you really want to do, you're going to set up little like landmines for yourself that's going to cause it to kind of go off rail, because it's not going to be the beautiful dream that you want it to be, what you're trying to manifest. And I feel like there's something deep inside of you somewhere that is telling you that this is not what you actually want. It's not in alignment with your soul. It's not in alignment with the reality of what your personality most is drawn to. And not everything that our personality is drawn to is what we should be doing. But if you're not being true to that particular light that's within you, because we all have these differences, like on one level, like we're all these beings having a human experience, but we're also human, and we're not in alignment with what it is that, what colors what it is that you're doing, what kind of journey you have, then it's not going to always come together, especially when you're doing heavy manifestation like what you're doing. Or what's going to happen is you're going to keep trying to manifest it, and you're going to find that in the 11th hour, something comes up and then it doesn't work. And, not to keep saying the same thing over and over again, I really feel like it's about not making the choice to be true to yourself and do the thing in the way in which your heart really wants you to do it. All right. And that's different for each of you. And you'll know what it is that is for you. All right. So your card that you have is Dream a Beautiful Dream from the Sacred Rebels. So let's read the message for that. It says, the perfect harmony of beauty awakens within me and all around me. I serve that golden light in unconditional love and creative power. And the Peace Oracle card that I have for you is Choice. A people free to choose will always choose peace. Ronald Reagan. Balance your decisions against the weight of your heart. In the still of the night, when you are revealed, vulnerable and alone, your choices and intentions keep you company. Peace cannot be forced, but alongside love, justice, and order, it can be chosen 1,000,000 times each day. An important decision with no guarantee. The choice is more significant than the outcome. The best choice is not necessarily the one that appears most right. Stand by someone or something you love. I am defined by my responses, not my challenges. I am my deliberate actions, not my struggles. I am my unerring hope, not my doubt. My choices are empowering and nurturing. Love fuels my decisions. I choose peace, consistently, lovingly, and boldly, 1,000 times today. All right, that is what I have for you for seashell number 3. If this is your last video, then I will hopefully see you in the future. If not, I will see you on the next video.